All right, this is MTG Buddha, and I'm back again today. We're gonna do a video. I've been enjoying doing alchemy, so we're gonna do a mono blue deck for alchemy, based around Hottie Jin. It's a new card from Dominaria United. Um, this card is really cool. He gets one power for each instant or sorcery in your graveyard, and then he makes all your instants and sorceries cost one less. So this deck is he's four copies of him, and then we've got one copy of Tolarian Terror because he's cheaper to cast if you have instant sorceries in your graveyard, and he's got Ward too, which makes him a little resilient. So just gives us one extra creature for the deck. Um, I decided to throw in one of a bunch of different types of lands just to be crazy, but I have two copies of Consider. I started out with four, but then I knocked it back because there's a couple of other cards that I thought would be good to play in the deck as well. So I put two copies of Consider in the deck. We have four copies of Fading Hope, which helps to protect your Haughty Gen and also can tempo out if they play early things that you don't have ways to counter. We've got two copies of Slip Out the Back at one drop, which is going to again help protect Haughty Gen. And then we have four copies of Syncopate, which is basically just for early countering. We've got four copies of Impulse to help us find cards we need, four copies of Negate, which if we have four mana, typically I want to play Haughty Gen with four mana available so I can play Haughty Gen and have a Negate in hand to hold up for them trying to kill Haughty Gen. Because Negate will only cost blue because he makes things cost one less. We have two copies of Seek New Knowledge, which is a card for Alchemy that I really like, that lets you go and get two non-land cards and put it in your hand, and then you put a card from your hand on the bottom of your library. So it's going to help me find things, hopefully counter spells and draw spells. So we've got three copies of Thirst for Discovery, which lets us draw and discard land. I put two copies of Winged Words in because the fact that it costs one less to cast if you control a creature with flying means that it can cost two, and if you have Haughty Jin out who has flying, it just costs blue. And of course, he makes it cost less anyway. Then we've got Etri Scorn, which is the new counter spell, which can cost one blue less if they've cast a second spell. And if he's out, we could potentially cast it for just one blue. We've got four copies of Memory Deluge, which is just going to help us go find things out of our deck, and we can flash it back if we get to late game. So we're going to give this a run and see how it goes. We'll play a couple games with it. Um, it seems to work pretty good so far. Um, there's been a couple of quick decks where we're on the draw and they're really aggro-y and we just don't have a way to counter their stuff on turn two or and they just get out to a quick start. Um, but the deck seems to work pretty good. And most control decks are, I mean, this is essentially a control deck, but most of them are a little bit susceptible to really fast aggro starts anyway. So, all right, so we have two impulses to consider and a Haughty Gin, and we got the lands. So I think we'll keep it. Um, yeah, when I was building this, I decided I was like, you know what, we're gonna be crazy and we're just gonna put one of a bunch of different types of lands in, just to kind of annoy people. All right, so we'll consider at the end of their turn, assuming they do nothing here. I mean, all right, so which land is this? Okay, so, all right. So he does have a play, and that's fine. We'll consider. We got plenty of land, so we'll throw land in the graveyard. All right, so we got a Memory Deluge. Good. All right, so we found a negate. So we'll have a negate available after we play this. Of course, we also have to worry about him having blood tokens to kill my Haughty Jin. So we just have to take the damage here. Okay, he's going to cast that. I think we go ahead and negate that because I don't want to have to deal with that thing. All right, yeah, and we can impulse this turn and hopefully find another negate or something to play after we cast this. Liliana, that's gonna suck. Okay. And we don't have a counterspell for Liliana. Um, hmm. Yeah, an unchecked Liliana is gonna really hurt us because we're not gonna be able to get rid of Liliana. Because if we cast this, she's just gonna -2 and make us sacrifice it. So yeah, it's not looking good here. And I don't think we have any way really to bounce her. I think we just have to pass at this point because we don't have a way to protect him. And like I said, she's just going to -, and we'll have to sacrifice it anyway. Okay, that's fine. We'll discard land. Yeah, an unchecked Liliana without a counterspell for it is kind of rough. All right, so yeah, we're going to have to do that because we can't deal with that. All right, so I think, let's see. Do we deluge? If we Hottie Gen, we're just going to have to kill the Hottie Gen. I think we just pass. And if nothing else, we can always impulse twice. Um, Tell you what, let's go ahead and do this because he's going to have to discard the card that he has in hand. So he's not going to be able to cast it. So we'll do this and get a little more selection of what we're discarding. Let's see. So, all right. So I think we take this. Yeah, we'll take both of those and we'll get rid of an impulse. And then I think what we're going to do is we're going to cast Haughty Gen. And then when they minus, we'll bounce it back to my hand. Because they're going to want to minus. Well, syncopate for 1. So we get rid of that. So now they're going to have to minus, but we don't have the 1 to bounce this. So, yeah, they're going to make a sacrifice it either way. All right, so I think we just pass here, and then we bounce this after he attacks. So we get to scry. Sure, we'll keep that. We get to draw cards with it. So, and then this is where we cast the Etri Scorn. Or Urtai, not Etri. I don't even know who Etri is. Okay, we'll discard this. All right. So we pass. So does he have something he wants to cast, or does he want to try to make me discard a card? All right, we are going to do this. Let's see, we will take the Haughty Gen, I think. Let's see, what is this at? Currently at 6. Mm, yeah, I think we're just going to be dead to stupid Liliana. So we'll take this and we'll discard. Yeah, we'll discard Wink Words because I can go get 2 cards with this. So we'll do this. And put this on bottom, I guess. Play a land, do this. Put this on bottom. Cast this. We're going to make them have to make me sacrifice a creature. Oh, well, they're going to just do that. So All right, so we're going to lose to Liliana. Yeah, so we concede. Yeah, an unchecked Liliana without a counterspell is rough. We'll see what we get this game. Yeah, if we'd had some way to counter the Liliana, we'd have been in a lot better shape, I think. All right. Sure, we're on the play and we've got two syncopates, which will give us a chance to counter. Syncopate's best early, so if you have the way to use it early on, it's the best time to use it. All right, yeah, so we'll syncopate for one. So it looks like it's probably going to be blue-red spells. So we'll pass. See what they do. We'll syncopate for one. Right. We'll play the land. We don't have counter magic right now, so we're going to not cast this. Because he is playing blue and red, and he's also got access to black, which makes me think that he might be going to, let's see, which one is this? There's a battlefield. Turn that chart burn, so hand draw card. I think I'm just going to counter it. All right, so we drew another land. I don't think we cast Honey Gin again. We don't have counter magic, but we do have these to be able to try to find counter magic. Okay, so let's syncopate or impulse. All right, I tell you what, we will take the counter spell, and then we'll counter that because we don't want him getting ahead on cards since we're behind on cards right now currently. So I think we play the land. I think we'll go ahead and do this and see if we can find a negate, which we did not. But I think we take the Memory Deluge at this point because we can cast Memory Deluge at the end of their turn, and then we can maybe find a counter spell to be able to cast him next turn and have backup magic for him. Let's see, when you cast an creature spell except one target non permanent you control, they return to the battlefield under some control. Okay, sure. We're gonna let him cast that. We'll go. Okay, so we're gonna take the negate and the or Urtai's Scorn. All right, so we're gonna cast a Hottie Gin, and then we're gonna pass turn. And we have a second Hottie Gin too, so we have two counter spells available here, which we can cast both if we need to. Okay. Yeah, we go ahead and we counter that. Because he's tapped out. So we're going to attack. And then I think I cast this one. And I think I cast this one. And I have negate available if they try to kill something. And he concedes. All right. Yeah, so that worked out pretty good. I think countering those things early for him, seeing that as it was a blue-red and they were going to be doing spells and stuff, we didn't want to let them get a presence. And the syncopates are really good to have early, especially if you're on the play, because you can do a turn ahead of them on mana. So, like if they cast a 2-drop, you can counter it for one, and then of course they can't pay for it. And then when they cast a 3-drop, you can counter it for one, and they can't pay for it. Or you could counter it for two if they cast a 2-drop on turn 3. So, I mean, it's just that's the best time to have syncopated your hands early. Or a little later in the game when they're casting a really big spell and using all their mana. But typically early is the best time for syncopate. Let's see. Well, we have an impulse to go find stuff. Hopefully we'll draw another land. We do have a negate and Hottie Gen combo here. Plus we have Fading Hope to bounce this if we needed to. We'll keep it. We should be able to find a third land. All right, so we'll play land. We have Syncopate available starting next turn if we need to. Hopefully he plays another tap land that doesn't do anything this turn. Nope, he cast something. All right, and it was just a 1-drop, so let's go to my turn. All right, so we're going to play this pass turn. We'll probably Impulse to try to find the land, if nothing else. Okay, so since he tapped out, we're going to go ahead and counter this for 1, because Syncopate, like I say, it's at the best when you can use it like this. So we do not have a land. I think we're going to go ahead and Impulse now and try to find the land for our land drop this turn, because we want a land drop. And then we'll pass turn. And hopefully we hit a land next turn, and then we can play Hottie Gen with the negate back up. We do have a second Hottie Gen now too, so I don't think I play this. I think I just take the 1, go to my turn. Did we hit a land? We did not. So I'm not going to play Hottie Gen just yet. This, I think I just go ahead and play this, or 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think we pass. Yeah, I think we just pass and see what happens here. Might play Impulse at the end of turn to try to find the land. If nothing else, I could play this, but you know, let's see. All right, so we'll let that resolve, and then I think what I'm going to do is let's Impulse. All right, so we found another land. So we'll take the land, and then I think I'm just going to bounce this back to his hand so that he has to spend another turn casting it. All right, and we found another land as well. So we will go ahead and Hottie Gen, and we have negate as backup if he tries to kill it. And then next turn we can play a land and play Winged Words for 1 blue and draw 2 cards, and then have negate as backup still. So if he casts this, he's spending this turn just doing that. Okay, so he did Tenacious Underdog. That's fine. The question is, does he have a counter spell or a kill spell? He does. And we are going to negate this. Okay, so I think we play the land, and I think we play Winged Words first and draw 2 cards. All right, so we found a negate. Since we found a negate and we have 4 lands, we'll go ahead and play Hottie Gen, which is going to give us the ability to play a negate next turn if they try to kill my guy. And at the very end of their turn, if nothing else, I could always Thirst for Discovery, but I don't think I want to, seeing as they have, well, it's a sorcery, so they'd have to do that in their main phase. So, what is this? Yeah, we're going to negate that. He's tapped out. He just has the 1, so we'll negate that. So I doubt he has a way to kill it with 1. Okay, so we'll go ahead and play the land. Let's go ahead and Thirst for Discovery right now. We'll get rid of a land. Let's go ahead and play. You know what? We're just going to attack for lethal. That's fine. There's no reason to play anything else, just killing. All right, so that worked out pretty good. The thing that really sucks to go up against is Esper right now, because Esper has the kill spell that can't be countered. So that kind of blows up your Hottie Gen, and there's nothing you can do about it. But going up against a lot of the decks, it seems like it's fine. Like I say, Unchecked Liliana is kind of rough for this deck to get over, because we don't have a way to deal with Planeswalkers. Unless we have a Hottie Gen that sticks and we can attack. But if we play a Hottie Gen and there's a Liliana already on the battlefield, they're just going to -2 the Liliana to make us sacrifice it, because we don't have enough creatures to not have to sacrifice Hottie Gen. So if you're playing against black, you kind of have to make sure you have counter magic for um, Liliana. Okay, so they're going first. We have a Haughty Djinn and a negate, which is our combo that we want to have. We have 3 mana. We got a Etri or Urtai Scorn and a Thirst for Discovery. So I think we keep. So they are on blue as well. I wonder if they're on mono blue as well. That could be interesting. They are on the play, so they're going to consider. They drew whatever it was. Yeah, it's possible this is another mono blue deck. All right, so we're going to pass turn, and at the end of their turn, we're liable to do the search for knowledge. Yeah, that's fine. So if they have Haughty Djinn, if they cast Haughty Djinn here, I mean, we're just straight up countering it. That's all there is to it. Okay, so they have a Drake. Okay. Um, I don't think we counter that. I think we let that resolve. That's fine. Here comes target of a spell you control. Okay. So he has to try to target it himself. Well, we're going to cast Seek New Knowledge. And hope they don't have a 1 mana counterspell. They didn't. Good. I think we put. I think we put the Tolarian Terror on the bottom, actually. Alright, so we will play a land. And I think we just pass at this point. Let's see what they do. Take the 2. We're going to play this. I really don't want to put a land. I'd rather discard 2 cards, I think, because I want the land. Yeah, we're going to decline. We'll discard Syncopate and Fading Hope. Yeah, because I need the land for this turn so I can play Haughty Djinn. I need Haughty Djinn to stick, though. I think I need to wait till a 5th land to play Haughty Djinn so that I have negate for their counterspell. Yeah, I think that's what I need to do. Yeah, I think I need to wait for the 5th land. Looks like they're falling behind on lands, so. So end of turn, we'll impulse if they don't do anything. Yeah, we'll impulse. And of course, we will take a land because I want that extra land. All right, so we'll play a land, and then we're going to cast our Haughty Djinn. And so if they try to counter our Haughty Djinn, we have a negate to take care of their counter spell. All right, and they did not. So we will pass turn. All right, so we are going to negate their bounce spell because we have another negate in hand. And then we're going to actually, yeah, we're going to negate that one as well. Because hopefully he just has 2 of those in hand. Hopefully he doesn't have 3 Fading Hopes. I could have used the Urtai Scorn, but yeah, so we did get rid of both of them. That's good. So we now have a 7/4. All right, he has his own Haughty Djinn. So I have a way to bounce his Haughty Djinn. So we're going to play a land, and then we're going to attempt to bounce his Haughty Djinn and see if he has a counterspell. All right, we are going to negate his Slip Out the Back. So we bounce his Haughty Djinn. We will keep that. Then I'm going to attack for 9. And then I'm going to cast Winged Words to draw 2 cards. Let's cast another Winged Words to draw 2 cards. And I think we pass. So if he has another way to bounce my Haughty Gen, I'm going to be in a little trouble. All right. So he doesn't have the 3 mana to cast Haughty Gen again. So he's just going to attack with that. Okay. So we will Impulse. Leaving myself open to something being bounced, but I think we take Seek New Knowledge because that's a good spell for us. All right, so we play the land, and I think we Seek New Knowledge. All right, I think we put this on the bottom, and then I think we Fading Hope this. If he has a counterspell, we cast the Memory Deluge to find our own counterspell. Okay, so we cast Memory Deluge. Let's consider. Yeah, we'll take that. So we'll syncopate that for 1. Pay 1. All right, and he concedes. Okay. So going up against that other mono blue deck, looks like they have a few more creatures in their deck. So we had access to more counter spells, which let us win the counter war. So, all right, let's try one more match, and then we'll call it a quits for this video. But yeah, I feel like this mono blue is actually pretty good. I don't know if it's necessarily top tier or anything, but if you're playing against the blue or the black deck, yeah, countering Liliana is pretty important, and making sure you have counter spells for the Invoke Despair is also important as well. There's not really any sweepers, so if you're going up against a deck that has a lot of creatures, you get in trouble. Okay, so we have a Syncopate, 2 negates. I think we keep this, even though we're short on lands. It's a black deck. All right, that's fine. We'll let that happen. Okay, so I think we play the land. We pass turn. See what they do here. Okay, so we are going to syncopate that for 1. So that they don't get to look at our hand and take anything. And we're going to keep the negates for Liliana. Okay, and he concedes. So that wasn't even really much of a game. I don't know if he just had like a lot of lands in hand and a spell that he was like, well, we'll look at your hand. And then when he didn't get to look at my hand, decided to concede. But since that was really quick, we'll do one more. Yeah, I'll be doing a draft in real life today. We did Friday night. We did a sealed draft for our Friday Night Magic. If you've never done a sealed drafts are a lot of fun. What we usually do at our store is we get the store gives pre-release packs out. You pay just like you would for a pre-release, and everybody gets a pre-release pack. You sit around the table. You crack the pre-release pack open. You take your promo and 3 packs out. You leave 3 packs in the box. You have 5 minutes to open up the first 3 packs and look through them and see what you got. And then after you do that, you put all those cards back into your box, take the 3 unopened packs out, and you draft just like normal. And then you build a 50 card minimum deck, not a 40 card, but 50 card, we've done this quite a few times, and we found early on when we first tried to do it that 40 cards was just it was too hard to do a 40 card deck because there were too many good spells. Okay, so we missed our land drop. That's gonna suck. All right, hopefully they have stuff that we can counter for one. Um, but yeah, we found that yes, good. Okay. Um, we found that doing a 50 card deck was just a lot easier way to go about it. Okay, so we have a consider. I think we'll go ahead and do the consider now. We throw that. Uh, it would let us bounce the creature that they play next turn and would give us a scry if it's less than 3. I think we just go ahead and throw it in the graveyard though. Hope for a land. Okay, we did hit land. Good. So we play the land. But yeah, you open up 3, you draft 3, and then you put the 2 stacks together to create a deck. And the decks are stupid powerful. So I'd like to have a way to bounce him right now. Let's see. So I don't think we can cast Hottie right now. I think we just have to pass. We're gonna be taking some damage here, but yeah, missing land drops against a aggro deck like this and not being able to counter stuff really hurts. Let's see. So they're tapped out. So we'll do this for 1 so that we can just at least exile her. So, all right, we still didn't draw a land. I think we winged words instead of thirst because thirst wants you to discard lands. Um, yeah. Okay, so we're gonna lose this match. Yeah. So that didn't work out well. We didn't draw any lands, so might should have mulliganed there, having only 2 lands, but yeah. So this deck seems to work pretty good. Currently, I'm at a 72% win rate with it, according to my MTG assistant. It's telling me that I got a 72% win rate with this deck. Um, but yeah, it seems like a pretty good deck so far. I'll add a deck list into the comments at some point after it's uploaded. If you want to give it a try, you can give it a try. There's some different things you can change in it. Make Disappear is a counter spell that I've considered putting in. I haven't decided what I would take out if I put Make Disappear in. If I put Make Disappear in, I might take 2 winged words. Might take the winged words out. I don't know if they're necessarily better um, than Thirst for Discovery. Um, but the fact that if I have Hottie Jin out, I can just straight up draw 2 cards for 1 blue, as opposed to 1 in a blue, drawing 3, and then having to discard a land, especially when I'm wanting to find a land. So I think I might would take out the 2 copies of this, but and put in a couple of those. Maybe take out the Slip Out the Backs and put in a couple of Make Disappears for early counter spells. But those are the only options, the only things that I would really take out of this deck and change around. But like I say, so far it's got over a 70% win percent so far, is what I've got. Um, and I've had a couple of just really bad matchups. But um, yeah, the deck seems pretty good. So if you want to give it a try, give it a try. Build your own version, kind of do some tweaking, change a few things if you want. Let me know how the deck runs for you. Thanks for watching the video and have a good day.